put in the grout, they caulked it, and then they water sealed it with a cheap water sealer. And that's what I'm pretty sure that they did just by looking at it, right? Because again, if they had water sealed it first and then put caulk on it, I wouldn't be seeing any water issues under it. And if they had used a good impregnation sealer, I definitely wouldn't be seeing water issues. But this is why I'm doing this project, is because I want to, A, get everything nice and clean, but I want to water seal it really good. So if you look here, and again, this bathroom wasn't really used a whole lot, but yesterday when I finished kind of working on this grout, if you can see down in there, is gray, and you can even see some black spotting in there. So that means water has in fact been getting up in here. So that's what I'm trying to mitigate, is I want to seal this, make it pretty, make it easier to clean, and prevent any water issues in the future. So what I did was I first took the soft scrub and I did all the grout lines. I did all the grout lines on the floor. I did all the grout lines all over the whole tub. And then I went back with the toothbrush and worked it into the grout lines, scrubbed it out with the brush, and then I went in and took the sponge and I used the rough side in the back to basically scrape down or rub down or scrub down the whole back of the shower, because I wanted to make sure I got all of the soap scum that may be on there, any kind of gunk or goo, or, you know, I wanted to get it completely, perfectly, absolutely clean. So when I water seal it, the water or the sealer can get in all the pores. So I know what you're thinking is, well, the grout's porous, so sealing that's good, but this is waterproof. No, it's not. You may look at your tile and go, well, this is obviously waterproof because it's nice and shiny and whatever, right? But trust me, your tile is not waterproof. You want to waterproof your tile. In fact, here's a picture. Once I scrubbed everything down the other day, I hosed everything down really good before I started taking the grout out, of course, and the caulk out. I scrubbed everything down and I hosed everything off really good. So if you look at this towel right now, it's, you know, nice and pretty, even color. I took a picture of it that shows there's dark spots in there, and that's where water is getting into the tile. It probably got water on it for maybe 20 or 30 minutes tops, which would be a long shower once. And you can see where water is actually seeping in here. So that's the other reason I'm doing this. I'm wanting to water seal the tile as much as I am the grout. And now let's take another look here. Sorry, I'm moving the shower curtain out of the way. If you look up here, and I apologize, and hopefully you can see it, but there's some marks right here. So I assume that at some point, one of the daughters had some shampoo or conditioner that was a bluish color, and over time it literally stained this grout, right? So this is another thing that I'm saying is if you redo your bath, or you buy a house or you build a brand new house, make sure you water seal everything, because it's going to keep it looking better longer. There's actually a stain in the tile right here, and I'm not sure what that's from. I've scrubbed on it, I've used the cleaner, I can't get it out, it's there. I don't know if it was there for construction or not, but I definitely know for a fact that this little water or stain mark was there from one of the daughters' use. This I've scrubbed down a couple of times, and it's permanently kind of a little bit grayish. It's not pretty white, and there's another stain here. So, you know, protect your investment. You know, this, number one, if water starts getting in here, we could have some serious issues where I may have to have this completely redone, or just in general resale value, or just the fact it's really nice. You want to keep your stuff looking nice. So what they should have done is they should have come in here and grouted everything, made sure all the holes were filled in the corners in it, and just kind of like go, oh, okay, well, I'll caulk over that and not really care. Inspect the tile for like places that's missing, like right there, and then wait a week or two to make sure everything is completely, absolutely dry, and then come in with a nice high-end impregnation sealer, something that's going to actually seep into everything and perma-seal it. Now, I'm not going to say permanent because you know, nothing in life is permanent, but it will seal it. So what this is supposed to do is come in and get into all those pores, but it's actually supposed to make it stronger because it's filling in those micro pores and solidifying with the material that's in there, which I believe is acrylic. I'd have to go back and look, but don't take my word on that. I'd have to read the back again. But it's, you know, one of the things it says, and a lot of the reviews that have said and everything I've read, is that it gets in there, it's supposed to make it stronger, and it definitely seals it by getting into all those micro pores instead of just creating a little surface coating on it that'll wear off at a fairly short order. Now this was a bit of a pain because these are decorative. They're actually, you know, 3D. It's not, this isn't painted on or you know, just a design. It's actually 3D. So there was a lot of soap scum that was built up in here, especially around the shower. I took my time and scrubbed that out really good. And then when I start doing that, I'm going to probably use a foam paintbrush to make sure I get the sealer up in all of there. So basically what I've done first is clean all the grout in the whole bathroom. And then I've started taking the caulking out of all the seams. I've done, as you can see, along the back and then the sides on both sides. I've already taken that grout out. I still got a lot of cleanup work to do. It still looks you know, pretty rough. And then I'm going to use the scraper here to actually kind of rough the grout lines up. And then once I do that, then I can actually come back with the grout and put that in. I'm going to fill in places that are missing. This was chipped and broken. So that's the other thing, is I want to make sure I get grout in there really good, so it helps, you know, structurally secure that, and then fill it in so when I come back and seal it. There's another place right over here. Sorry, this stuff is kind of in the way. Sorry, dropping stuff. So this was cracked, so I'm going to make sure I fill in all that. I'm going to take out the caulking that's down here. And as I said, there's some loose grout there, so I'm going to fix all that. And I'm going to get it nice and solid again. And then once I do that, I'm going to let it dry maybe probably 2 weeks. I'm probably not going to come in here for 2 solid weeks and let it just get as absolutely dry as I possibly can. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. So why do I need the screwdriver and the Allen keys? I'm going to take the faucet off, and I'm going to take this off as well. Let's see, there you go. Take the faucet off. The faucet comes off. There's a Allen key under here. It loosens that, and then it just pulls right off. I'm not sure how yours is, but there's a rubber O-ring in there that if you pull it off and it's old, it may damage the rubber O-ring. So either A, you'll have to get a new O-ring, or depending on how it is, you may have to get a new faucet. But I want to get back there to the tile and not just water seal around it. Same thing here. I'm going to take the knob off, take this off. I'm going to make sure that that's water sealed back in there, because as you can see, there's gaps. Water will get in there. I want to make sure everything's sealed, not just what I can see, right? Because water will get to where you can't see. That's what water does. So yeah, again, I'm going to take this off so it's right down to the pipe. I'm going to make sure that's water sealed. I'm going to kind of close that gap up right there. I'm going to take all this off, back to the pot, back to the mixer valve, make sure it's all sealed in there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in here. Also, if you look at the sink grout has also gotten cracked and chipped, so I'm going to be pulling that out. Once I've got all the grout out, once I've got it pulled back, I'm going to let it sit for 2 weeks. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure I clean the tub out good. I make sure I clean, you know, any kind of debris out of there, so it's ready for me to start water sealing. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but where I clean the grout, it's nice white lines, and then the tiles are a little bit dirty. So that also tells you that this is not, you know, water impenetrable. Water and dirt can get into that. So that's another reason to go and seal the tile on your floor, so it keeps it nicer looking for longer, and it's easier to clean. It won't get dirty. So as I said, I've cleaned all the grout lines. After I get all the grout and caulk out and get it ready so it can just sit here for 2 weeks and dry out, I'm going to come back and I'm going to like mop the floors really good. I'm going to use the soft scrub gel bleach and just wipe it down on the floors and scrub it so it looks as absolutely nice as it can. Let it sit for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to come back and water seal everything with the 511 impregnatation sealer. So I'm going to do all the walls, all the surround, every single thing I can do. Then I'm going to seal the floor. The first time, I'll probably wait 3 or 4 days, and then I'm going to do a second coat. I mean, so the reason I'm doing a second coat, they say you don't have to. I don't trust that. So the reason I'm doing a second coat is, again, all this decorative tile work here. I want to make sure I get it in there everywhere. And then I also want to make sure that if for some reason, as I was putting the sealer on it, missed a little section the first time, I'm definitely sealing it really good. After it's sealed the second time, then I'm going to go in and caulk everything, you know, after about a week. So I'll let it set after the second coat for about a week, and then I'll come in and caulk everything. So again, grout first, a really good impregnatation sealer, and last is caulk. And again, what I think they did was friggin' grout, then they caulked, and then they came over with a cheap sealer. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to seal everything around the toilet, all the way around the base, all the way around here, over to the sink. So I'm going to caulk everything. And then once that's all done and it's set up and let the caulk set for a couple of days, then I'll put the mixer valve cover back on, handle, and I'll put the spout on. And then we've protected our investment, because if I'm seeing, with as little use as there is, you know, gray areas and loose grout here and discoloration, I already know water is getting back behind there, so I want to take care of that. Let's see, in the next episode, I guess I'll probably show you after I've done some more in here. And then after I'm done with this bathroom, I'm going to move everything out of the master bathroom into here, and I'll start using this as my primary bathroom for about a month or two while I do the master bath. And no, it doesn't take a month or two. It's just I work a normal job, so this is not my primary job, and I've got to do other stuff, and then I kind of like to relax at evening. So I'm kind of doing this a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, no one's using both bathrooms at the same time, so it's kind of irrelevant if I do it. And then also the time I'm going to wait between when I scrub stuff, when I take grout out, how long I let it dry. As I said, I'm going to let this dry for about a week. The master bathroom, I'm probably going to let it dry for about a month once I get all the caulk and the old grout out that's bad. Because this has hardly been used. I use the master bathroom every day, and I'm sure the previous owner used the master bath every day. So I've definitely seen some cracks in the grout that need repairing. I don't know what's behind the wall or in the floor, and I want to give the master bath every single opportunity I can to dry out on top of, below, around, inside and out before I go and seal that. So anyway, I'll check you later after I've gotten some more stuff done, and have a good one.